Hi, everybody, and welcome to this Friday night's lounge. I'm certainly lounging it out. If you could tell, we have a couple lights that are out tonight. I don't know what it is. All my light bulbs are just going out, so I kind of look a little bit moody tonight. It's the full moon, which if you've listened to my monthly energy forecast, you know what I was talking about for this weekend. It is a powerful, powerful energy, and it's all about healing our inner wounds and also practicing the art of forgiveness. Now, this is deep forgiveness. This isn't like just, somebody at the grocery store said something rude. This is where we have to kind of reflect on what we have to heal and what we have to forgive with ourselves, not so much for other people. So I want to get a tune in to how everybody's doing. And if you read or if you saw the monthly energy forecast this month, if you're not on our list to get the monthly energy forecast, it goes out the 15th of every month, and I go over every single day of the month and the key dates to take action and not to take action. So anything with manifestation, energy, intention, it's all great, but you have to also be connected to what the energy is doing out in the universe and personally and with the world. So that's kind of what I put together. And if you want to go and receive those monthly energy forecasts, they're not public. You got to be on our mailing list. So you got to do something for us and we'll do something for you. And you'll get those at the 15th of every month. And they are a video broadcast, and we go over every single day of the month as well. So also just a little other quick announcement. I am editing like a fiend and I'm almost done. Intuitive Development Course Level 1 is going to be out very soon. We're going to have our Intuition 101 Foundations, Theories, and Basics course, which is our little mini three-step course, 3-video course. And then we're going to have our level 1, which is all about discovering what your gift is, learning the art of self-trust, and starting to get unstuck with your relationship patterns. So if you need that, because we can't develop our intuition unless our energy is flowing correctly. So we have to put those together as one goal. Okay, so make sure you go into the link in video, and the waitlist is there and you can get on that. And the people that are on the waitlist, it's not like you're actually buying the course. You're actually just going on the waitlist to be notified that you're interested. And we are going to be having some amazing pre-launch specials, bonuses, and I'm doing a big giveaway. And even if you're on my mailing list, but you're not on the wait list, you're not going to be part of the giveaway. Okay, so you must be on the wait list. Go into the link in bio and make sure you're subscribing to Facebook and YouTube. So you are getting the description, the link, and you could sign up right there. So let's see how everybody's doing. Oh my God, so funny. Hi, Eileen. How you doing? Good to see you tonight. Tim, I know you're following everything because I know you're feeling this full moon. Please tell me that you're taking care of yourself. Jason Snyder, so interesting that you're here tonight because I was just talking to somebody about TJ, your lovely co-host, and Jason was part of the reason why I actually started the lounge in the pandemic. He was like, they asked me to be on their podcast, and then it kind of sparked the idea to kind of have them on my podcast. Then we got this software, and Jason's like kind of like the person we all started from for the lounge. So hi, Jason. Everybody say hi to Jason. Paula, good to see you tonight. Maria, good to see you. Awesome. I did send it out, Maria. Hope you got it on the 15th. Kathy, good to see you. Ani M, it's so good to see you too. Well, I can't wait for you guys to hear about our guest tonight. Her name is Kelle Sparta, and I was talking to her backstage, and she's got some amazing energy. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about her before we bring her on. She is called the Spirit Doctor. Okay, which first of all, love that name. There was a TM on that name, so I was like, oh, is this a trademark or what is that? She's like, I don't even know where the trademark came from, but if she didn't, I think she should trademark it. I think that's good. She's a transformational shaman. We all know we love transformational work on this show. And I didn't bring many shamans on this show, so we're going to talk to her about that. She works with high performance people to unlock hidden aspects of their potential. Because as high performance people, I know I'm one of them, we're always going, always doing. And part of my potential, I know, is like deep within me. It's not about what I do, what I produce, what I put out there. It's about unlocking who you are on the inside and kind of getting into that core energy and kind of radiating that out so that you can attract those opportunities that are in alignment with your true spirit. Kelle teaches people to master their energy to create next level results. We all want next level results, don't we? She works with her clients to uncover and remove hidden blocks, resistances, beliefs that keep them from happiness and success. Now, everybody wants that. I'm just going to say it again. She helps people to uncover and remove hidden blocks, resistances, and beliefs. Everybody raise their hand. We all know what we want, and keep them from happiness and success. She's going to be talking tonight about why people don't heal even though they know they can, the stages of personal growth, and she believes the magic can happen. So she has hope that we all can heal. And the coolest thing she's going to be talking about, what I want to know, is boundaries for empaths. So I know a lot of you people on the stream. I've talked to most of you. I know that you all feel everything around you, and sometimes empaths, we have to isolate just to stop the energy from coming in. And like, how do we feel that? What are our boundaries, right? Not so good. And she's going to be talking about details, instructions on how to energetically protect yourself as an empath. So just saying hi to a couple more people. Oh, Tim, so proud of you. You joined a wellness fitness center today. We got Sandy from Canada. We have Anne from Scotland. How are you, Anne? Carrie, Miss Potter, she's been on the lounge many times. How are you, Carrie? And Carol, nice to see you. All right, without further ado, let me welcome Miss Kelle Sparta. How are you, Kelle?
I'm good. I'm so glad to be here.
I'm so glad you're here too. And I can always tell when somebody has a lot of intuition going on. And I could just tell by looking at you that not only do you feel everything, but it seemed like you've come through your own transformation and you've had a bunch of schools of hard knocks, and not probably just one, probably like 30 years, I'm thinking, right? And so you've got some tough love to share because you not only talk the talk, but you not only walk the walk, you probably rolled down a couple hills around the walk, right?
Busted up and bruised. Yes, absolutely.
Yes. So we have a lot of people on here during this full moon struggling with forgiveness, struggling with self-forgiveness, struggling with making it through that last phase of their transformational healing. With this full moon, it's purging everything out. We have a lot of momentum going on in the universe. Plus, we have a lot of turbulence coming up in our world. Plus, it's coming up inside. And a lot of people don't know how to handle that, especially people that are feeling action and emotion at the same time. It's a lot of it. So I guess let's hear a little bit about you first. And why do you call yourself the Spirit Doctor? I have to ask.
Well, so when I first started using the term the Spirit Doctor, it was back like 2006, right? Mm-hmm. And nobody knew what a shaman was. They'd never heard of them. Unless you were in California, nobody knew what a shaman was.
Okay.
And so, now I use it because everybody hears the term shaman and they think it's synonymous with ayahuasca journeys. And that's not at all what I do. And so I'm like, you know what? I am a transformational shaman, but I'm working with the term the Spirit Doctor because that's really what I do. Is I help to heal people's spirits. And it's a process of connecting into the person and peeling away all of the stuff that's been layered on top of them from the outside world and from their own beliefs that were created from their earlier experiences, and just having to bring that spirit back to its state of perfection and clearness. The spirit's never not perfect, let me just say that, but back to a place where it is clear and able to be fully seen and fully activated, right?
I see. So
Yeah.
I heard a shaman. I have a couple friends, people that I know, people who have had healings, and they talk about bands of power. Is that the layers that you're talking about, or is that a different thing? Or is that maybe a different
I have
part
no
of
idea.
Okay, never mind.
If you ask 100 shamans what shamanism is, they're going to give you 100 different answers. So let's just start with that.
I see. Okay. So let me ask you a different question then.
Okay.
What's the difference between somebody getting a Reiki session
Mm-hmm.
and a shamanic healing? Because a lot of people are like, oh, I need a shaman or I need a healing. And everybody thinks that, I know, like they're two totally different things, but a lot of people think that they're the same. Just
Yes.
like a psychic and medium, people think we're all the same, and it's not the same.
Not the same.
So can you explain and just break it down as to like, what would someone expect or feel that they should go and get Reiki versus where someone should be in their life where a shamanic healing might be more beneficial?
So I don't mean this as negative to any Reiki healers. I often say that Reiki is energy healing with training wheels, right?
Right.
Reiki is something that can be taught to the average person, and it's a beginner healing modality. And so I am a Reiki master teacher, so I'm speaking from a place of knowledge. And there are some people who make it their life's work to do Reiki, but not a lot. Most people start in Reiki and then they evolve into something else. And so Reiki is particularly good for issues of the heart, I would say, because it's pure loving, healing energy. That's really what it is. So if you're trying to deal with something that is based in an issue of love, then Reiki is very good for clearing it. If you are looking at a shamanic healing, shamanic healing is looking sort of a broader scope. So we're looking at ancestral work. We're looking at the outside influences. Did somebody send a curse? Do you have an entity? Do you have a past life thing that's coming through? It's a much more complex scope of work, if you will. I've done work within interdimensional things where I've cleared interdimensional like implants and things like that have come through. So it's really a broad base. And again, I say, if you ask 100 shamans, you're going to get 100 different answers. Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, it's kind of like what I heard, and just correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not a shaman.
Yeah.
But it's like, if you want a nuclear clearing,
yes,
you go to shaman when you're ready. But
yes.
like if you want just some nice feeling good, have a little person's love and vibe,
yes.
you get your Reiki. But if you need to be, I don't know, from my experience, because I went through a series of sessions with a shaman many years ago, and because I'm a medium, I tend to, when I go through these types of sessions, I tend to have much higher level experiences that people really can't explain. And I mean, I went on this journey and went into these places and saw these things that were just like, and I'm not talking about ayahuasca. I'm talking about, I was laying on my couch and these spirit animals were talking to me. You know what I mean? It's like, I remember that session so vividly, like everything that happened and the wisdom that came through. But she was like, when I called her, I'm like, I'm sick of these patterns. I don't know how to break these patterns. And she's like, well, and she was very tough. She's like, are you ready for a nuclear clearing? Because if you're not, like, don't come now.
Right.
Like, you have to be ready. You have to be willing, because it's not easy. And I sent a bunch of clients her way over the years, and people that were close to me. I mean, stuff was like, she started drumming over one person and he was like, started crying and screaming. And it's like, what? And this was like a real quiet guy. And so it's like, if you're ready, if you're ready. But then it didn't, like, it cleared certain levels, but then I had other things would come up over the years that still had to be cleared. You know what I'm saying? So where should
We're
a
never
person
done.
be? Yeah, it's never, yeah. Oh, there he is. Hi. Yeah, I didn't realize we were talking about you and you were on. So yeah, he had a pretty crazy experience. And this is a guy who was like not very expressive, like all the time. So it was just kind of crazy for him to tell me he's screaming and like they're at a medical, like 'cause she was working out of a medical office.
Yeah.
She worked for a doctor, which is an actual medical doctor, had a shaman in her office, still does, to work with her clients. I mean, I think that's amazing, first of all. So
You know, I mean, the scope of the work is huge, right?
yeah.
So, you know, for instance, and you don't have to be in physical space with someone. So, you know, for instance, a friend of mine had her sister was in a horrific car accident, and she called me up and she's like, they're still trying to get her out of the car. It's been an hour and a half and they can't get her out of the car. And so she was like, could you go and see how she's doing? Now my friend is across the country from me, as is her sister, who I've never met. But I followed my friend's energy to her sister, and I looked at her sister, who had her entire aura had been completely shattered. And, you know, I had to recoalesce her energy to get her to get to the point where she could make a decision about whether she wanted to stay or go. And then once she decided she wanted to stay, I was like, okay, so then I could start doing some work. And I laid out all of the things that I saw. I told my friend, here's all the injuries that I see. I said, I'm going to work on the brain bleed because that'll kill her before she gets there. But I'm going to work on that. And, you know, I laid out everything else. And I said, I've done this, I've done that to do the work on it. They got to the hospital and they got through triage and got her to the hospital room, and everything I had laid out, with the exception of the brain bleed, was exactly what they said were her injuries. And they said if she had had a brain bleed, she wouldn't have survived doing the surgery for that. So, you know, that sort of thing is the type of thing that I occasionally will get an emergency phone call for, right? Or, you know, I had a mother whose son was catatonic and had been since he was 13 years old, and he was 17. And he was in a mental hospital, and she asked me to see what I could do, that somebody had said she needed a shaman. And I went in and I was like, yeah, he got attacked by an entity, and I've cleared it. And I walked her through the process, and I said he should wake up in a couple of days, and then, you know, he won't be verbal for about 2 or 3 weeks after, because he has to re-find his way back into his body, because he'd been shoved out of his body. And I said, but in 2 or 3 weeks, he'll start to talk again. And that's what happened. But, you know, you have to know you need a shaman for that, right? That's the biggest problem.
Most people don't know. Most people don't know that they should call you with this situation. So, like, are you, like, I've heard about, is this called journeying, where you remote view into the situation? Is that like the technique that you're using or is this like a specific journeying technique that you're doing?
Journeying it tends to be more of a, it's going into another realm. So journeying is more like if you were to do a guided meditation, you would be journeying, right?
Okay.
But this is more of a remote viewing sort of process.
In the present. So you're remote viewing in the present.
In the present, on a physical, in the middle world, right? In this world, right?
So you're connecting on the earthbound levels. You're not so much connecting with people that have passed on those dimensions.
I do that too.
But in those situations that you're talking about.
But in these situations, I was not doing that. I was, however, the thing that had taken over the kid was a demon. So I was dealing with that, and I had to clear that. And
so what the outcome? I mean, the kid now talks and everything's fine.
He did wake up. He did get verbal again. However, he went immediately into his shamanic initiation. And I got to a certain point where I was only allowed to do so much. And I said, you know, when somebody's going through their own shamanic initiation, you can't interfere. They either get through it or they don't. And so it's part of the initiation process, is that you have to let them get through it, because if you help them through it, then they don't get what they need out of the initiation. And so, the last I heard was when I told her, I said, look, he will either make it through the initiation at this point or he won't. And I'm not allowed to participate at this point. This is as far as I'm allowed to go. I given it what I could. I shored him up in the places that I could from the fact that he had been being beaten on for 4 years. I said, but I'm not allowed to take it further. So, yeah.
So you haven't gotten any updates on if he's okay
No, I haven't heard from her. I moved out of the city shortly thereafter. Yeah.
So as far as the shamanic initiation, I know some people are probably wondering this too in the audience. When you're doing a healing, a remote viewing, so what's the difference between if I were to remote view in a clairvoyant way and say, yeah, I see the accident and these are the injuries, and I could say this is what could happen and there's a choice. What's the difference between me and you doing a remote viewing, and what are you doing that's different, and how? Okay, I have another question after that, but let's just start with that. So what are you doing?
So my guess would be that we're probably doing the same thing in terms of the viewing.
Right.
And then what I'm doing is I'm actually going in and doing some energy healing in the process too. So I take the viewing and then I use that, and I act like I'm right there and I do the work right there. So really not much difference.
So how does do these people that you speak to when they're out of their body or unconscious or in the situations where because a lot of people, a lot of readings I have to say, they chose to stay or they chose to go and they had a choice. Some people don't.
Right. Some people don't. That's
right. Did she remember having that choice or speaking to you about that choice? Or was that not recalled?
I never spoke with her personally, so I don't know. My friend, I'm not sure if my friend even told her.
I see.
About it. I coalesce her energy enough to get her permission to have the conversation and to do the work. Yeah. Because I had to coalesce her energy to get her to be able to make a choice. But I was working with her higher self, so I don't know if she remembers or not.
Okay. Well, that's just simply amazing. The story you just described is really amazing. And I guess I want to ask, where do people have to be that are not in these emergency situations, that are maybe in this chat right now? Yeah. What kind of bottom emotionally or transformationally should they be feeling to say, you know what, like maybe Kelle could help me? What would they want as far as the goal?
So I'm not sure what you mean by bottom, but some of the things that people come to me for, I work with a lot of coaches. I work with a lot of people who are energy practitioners and healers and things like that. So they're dealing with some major life transformation that they need to go through, right? And that's true for anybody, right? So if you're looking to up level your identity, if you're looking to shift your belief structures, if you're trying to heal something that's stuck, if you're trying to move some past life thing, if you're afraid that your family line's been cursed, by the way, that's very rare. More people think they've been cursed than have actually been cursed.
Right.
And anytime somebody tells you you've been cursed, the first word out of your mouth should be bullshit. So, because it's almost never true. So they're usually trying to scam you. So don't believe them. But the upshot is that if you are dealing with, I have friends. So I saw a question go by. Paula asked if I was able to help spirit move on or help clear a dwelling. Yeah. I clear the houses that I live in all the time. I clear physical space where I'm in all the time. So yes, and if there are spirits there that need to be crossed over, I cross them over. I don't do it as a service for others, but I have friends who do. So if that's something you're looking for, then you could either go to househealing.com or to spirits-begone, ghosts-begone.com. And both of them are very good house clearers, if that's something you're looking for. But it's not something I do as a service.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I just had another question. I know people are all wondering about this. Boundaries for empaths. So
Yes.
the people, we're all going through transformations. Whatever dark night of the soul you're going through, I'm sure you're all dealing with patterns and transformation. This full moon is bringing that stuff up.
Yeah.
So how can empaths have any boundaries? Because we feel every damn thing.
Yeah.
Like, really, how can we have any boundaries? We feel everything unless we like shut down. Like when the world was shut down, I felt the most calm because everything was shut down.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? There was no energy.
Right.
And I was like, oh, I don't feel everything out there, outside, out in the world, all the traffic, all the spirits, all my own stuff. How do you stop that?
Well, so the first thing you have to recognize is that being an empath is actually an energy pattern. Mm-hmm. And so what that means is that you are shoving your energy field out through. So for some people, it's to the edges of the room. For others, it's the edge of the building. Some people to the city, some to the world. If you know somebody who's kind of spacey and feels everything that's going wrong in the world in the depths of their soul and is completely incapable of getting anything done, that person is carrying their energy field at the edges of the earth.
Wow. Okay. That's pretty wide and far.
Yeah, it is, which is why they can't get anything accomplished, right? Because the wider you spread your energy field, the more diffused it becomes. And so the less you have of your own energy to use it to move forward in your life. And so as you're thinking about it, so if you're an empath, just take a minute, close your eyes and tell yourself, where's the edge of my energy field? And don't question it. Okay, you can't question it. Whatever the default answer is that comes to you immediately is the answer. Trust it. And it's probably out a lot further than where it should be. Our energy field should be within 12 to 18 inches of our body. Now that's based on US and Latin America distances. So it's whatever the social distance is between you and people around you. Half of that should be where your aura lives. So in Latin America, it's a 2-foot distance, so it's about a foot out. In the US, it's a 3-foot distance. In Asian cultures, it's much tighter in. So, but somewhere in that range is where your aura should live. And if it's out much further, then what's happening is that everybody else is wandering through your energy field, which is why you have no defense against them. And putting up a shield is not going to help because they're already inside your energy field. Right?
Right.
The shield's on the outside of the energy field. It's not going to help for the people who are inside of it. And
that's very interesting.
So the key is you've got to pull your energy field in. And once you pull your energy field in, you're going to feel a lot denser. Some people may feel a little threatened because this is a safety mechanism that we did as a child, right? We felt unsafe in our environment and we started shoving our energy field out to monitor everybody so that we would not be surprised.
Right.
Nothing could come at our face and we would have a chance to get away if somebody was upset, right?
So it's like a big radar. It's like a big, like we're just like a weather radar. We're monitoring everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's useful as a safety mechanism because you know what's happening all the time. However, it's not useful as a safety mechanism energetically. It is in fact counterproductive energetically because everybody else is inside your field. Everybody else everyone else's emotions are overlaid on yours, and it's hard to tell where you end and they begin and who's feeling what in the room. I mean, as an empath, I can't tell you how many times I had somebody who was incredibly attracted to me, and I was like, "Ooh, you look good." And then I'd go to the bathroom, and I'd be like, "Why am I hanging out with that guy? I don't like him." Right? But I get back into his space, and he's all into me, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm riding his excitement about me, not my own excitement about him." Right? And that's some of the things that happen to empaths. We also have a hard time breaking up with people, because we mix our energies with our partners. And when you go to try and separate from your partner, well, you take some of their energy with you and they take some of your energy with them. And now you feel like I can't live with that person without that person. And, right. And that becomes a challenge as well. So empaths really need to learn energy management. That's really the key, right? So if you pull your energy field in, you will feel more dense, which is going to feel strange.
Mm-hmm.
It might feel unsafe because you're used to using it as a safety mechanism, but you
Right.
still have the ability to taste someone else's energy and see how they're feeling. You just send a little line of energy out and just go, just taste it. How you feeling? Right? But you're not actually shoving your energy through them. And so if you've got a strong personality like I do, and you're an empath, you're probably being called intimidating a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Because your energy is smothering the person that you're with. And so on one end, it's bad for you, but it's also not so great for them. And so if you pull your energy field in, you get solid, and you don't need a shield as much. Now, shields are a good idea. Don't get me wrong, they're a good idea, but your boundaries alone, just having your energy field where it belongs, and being solid that's where you want it to be, that alone is sufficient to deflect a lot of stuff without having any shields up.
Now, how do you do that? How do you, because I visualized where mine was, and it definitely was more than this much. Yep. How do you just visualize it back to where you want it to be? Is that
so
how you do it?
You just imagine your arms reaching out as far as the shields, as your energy field is. You grab onto your energy field, breathe it in, and just see it collapsing in towards you from all directions. Because remember, it's going to be above your head, it's going to be below your feet, it's going to be behind you and in front of you. You want to just treat it like a big old bubble collapsing in, like one of those things, the game round circle toys that they have that expand and contract. It's a similar concept. It comes in from all directions, right?
Okay.
Yeah. And so you just pull it in, but you're going to have to do it on a regular basis because your default is to expand it out again.
Yeah. Tim was saying when you realize you lost yourself, he's regaining his energy. Kelle, your words resonate with me and on point. Thank you.
Yeah.
So I know Tim, and I know he's really working hard, though. I could tell you, Tim, he's really working hard, but I know he's struggling, especially with his relationship, the sector, and trying to figure all that out.
Yeah.
And that can leave you feeling a little scattered.
It can. And you were talking about forgiveness earlier. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to put this 2 cents in. That I hear a lot about forgiveness in the spiritual world, right? And everybody's like, oh, you have to forgive them. You have to forgive them. You have to forgive them. And that's true. You do have to forgive because you're hurting yourself by not forgiving. However, you have to get angry first.
Mm.
Okay. And nobody tells you that. But
what do you mean? Like externally angry?
Angry. Externally, internally, whatever. Not at them. You don't have to take it out on them, but you have to let yourself be angry about the sense of victimization that you felt. And the reason you have to let yourself be angry is because if you don't, you are telling your inner child that you deserved it.
Well, a lot of people that are in this position that I see as clients, they just hold it in and resent.
Right.
So they'll say they are angry because they're resenting. They're holding it in. So that's not what you're talking about, right?
No. If you've gotten angry, then you're fine. And resentment is anger. So
if they're holding it in and resenting, that they're fine?
Then you're fine. But there are some people who try to do this process of, I'm going to be spiritual. I'm going to forgive before I've ever really plumbed the depths of my emotions on this. And I'm not going to.
Yeah, I'm not like that. I'm not like that.
Me neither. But there are people who do that. And so it's really important to do that. Now, for resentment, I love Carol Burnett's quote. That's my favorite thing. Because she said, forgiveness is giving up all hope of a better yesterday. Which is the best definition of forgiveness I've ever heard. It's not actually what we think of as forgiveness as in saying it was okay, or saying, well, yeah, you did it, but we're okay, right? No, it's saying, yep, it happened. No amount of shoulding or wishing or whatever is going to make it different. It just was. And I'm going to let it go.
Yeah. And And I think that people, especially when people are doing their personal work, they're taking inventory with a therapist or a mentor or a spiritual guide.
Right.
And they're like, I'm so angry at all these people
Right.
and I need to forgive, and then that spiritual mentor is like, who are you missing on that list?
Right.
And many people don't realize that they're stuck in self-criticism, self-judgment,
Yes.
and they haven't forgiven themselves. So they're kind of attracting situations like this in their life.
Oh, certainly. Yeah. And you also, yes, for that. And there's also these little things that people don't think about, which is they think that by adopting the title, the identity of survivor is a good example, right? I'm a survivor. Well, we think that maybe that's a good identity to hold, but it actually magnetizes to you other things that you have to survive to reinforce your identity.
Mm.
And so you want to be really careful about what you think of as, how you're identifying yourself, because that creates your reality as well.
So what are some practical boundary tips? I know we could talk about our auric field, but what about like when the opportunity comes, you got to say no and you're saying yes? I mean, how do we change those boundaries for empaths where we're like, oh, I could see this situation is not a good idea, but I'm going to jump in it anyway. Like, how do we change those behavioral boundaries, or to be able to say to somebody, listen, I don't like that and I don't want you to do it, even though that person doesn't really respect your boundary or whatever.
Right.
How do we state our needs, and how do we also express our boundaries when it's like, oh, as an empath, it's hard to do that.
Yeah. So that's a huge question. So
yeah,
I'm gonna because ultimately, basically what it comes down to is you have to figure out why you're saying yes when you mean no. And that's going to be different reasons in different situations. So for a lot of us, we say yes when we want to say no because we feel like we're not allowed to say no. And that, to say no would make us a bad person or make us selfish, or, we've had a definition set upon us for that. And then it's about being able to debunk that definition, right? For some of us, it's about our value is based on what we do for others. And so if we say no, then we are inherently less valuable in our own eyes. And that becomes about, you have to then work on internalizing your sense of value so that it's not based on what you do, but who you are. Mm-hmm. And that's about addressing lovability issues and good enough issues and things like that. There's the classic scenario of the empath who doesn't want to say no is when you have to hurt somebody's feelings. Like, I'm not attracted to you the way that you're attracted to me. And then you feel bad about
uncomfortable. So uncomfortable.
And you get to feel their hurt feelings at the same time.
Yeah.
Right? Oh. Yeah. And so that's, again, if you pull your energy field in, then you just get to feel bad about hurting their feelings, and you don't have to feel their feelings too. Right? So that's the balance there. So each thing is about, why are you doing it? Why are you not speaking up? Why are you not supporting yourself, right? Why are you putting yourself last on your own priority list, right? What is it about these things that is causing you to do it? And that's how you find the underpinning. And then it's just about practice, right? Because we wait too long to say no, and we wait and we wait and we wait and we wait, and then we blow up. And then we feel bad because we just destroyed the person in front of us. We shredded them to within an inch of their lives because we waited too long to say no, right? And we go, no! And it's because it's now a survival instinct that's kicked in that's caused us to say no. And that's why we do that, is because we've waited so long that it's our survival instinct that's responding.
Eileen is like, this is me.
Yeah. So there's an easy answer to that one, Eileen, which is, speak up early and speak up often. Okay. So don't give away your energy when you don't have it. Ask for help all the time, even when you don't need it, even if you just want it, even if you don't want it, just ask for help so that you never get empty. And if you're upset, speak it first. Don't have an argument in your head with the person for the next 6 days and never say anything out loud, because then you're going to be pissed that they didn't hear you. And even though you never spoke it out loud, but in your head, you've had the conversation 6 times. And so these are the things that we need to stop doing.
Okay, well, Paula has a question.
Yes.
Paula, this wasn't me, right? I hope not. I don't think this is something I would have said. Question: many years ago, a medium told me she couldn't give me a reading because my aura was black. What does that mean? I was depressed and contemplating a divorce at that time.
So I haven't personally experienced somebody with an aura that had gone black. I have experienced working with someone whose aura I've had 2 people whose auras had been completely depleted of energy. And it is very hard to do a reading for somebody when they have no energy in their energy field. But there's also the story Edgar Cayce told. So if you've never heard of Edgar Cayce, he was a psychic in the 1920s. And he went to get on an elevator when the doors opened, and the doors opened and he said, "I'll catch the next one." And the doors closed and the elevator plummeted and everyone died. And people asked him, they said, "Why didn't you get on the elevator?" And he said, "Everyone's aura had turned black. I didn't know what it meant, but I knew I didn't want to be in there." And so, I don't know how that relates, but that's the only other reference I've ever heard to an aura going black. And so if this medium had heard that story before, she might have associated that color with that. Whereas, instead of just associating it with a complete lack of energy, which it sounds like it was probably more likely that you were completely drained of energy and she might have been afraid of it, or she might have just had a hard time because you had no energy.
Yeah, and if you're doing a mediumship reading, you're not reading somebody's aura, as far as I'm concerned.
No.
If I'm psychically looking at your aura, that's not a mediumship reading.
No, it's not.
So if somebody, is coming to me and has a message for you, that doesn't have to do with me looking into you at all. Like, everybody's like, "Oh, you could do readings over the phone." Like, I don't need to see you. The people, you being in person with me is for you. It's not for me. I did readings over the radio. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Because I'm not reading you. I'm giving you a message. So that's, maybe she wasn't allowed to read for you.
It's possible that's true too.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's not something, I don't think, it's not something I would say. It's like, your aura is black. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. If somebody's not open, I'll tell them, like, "Okay, thanks, Paul. I'm glad it wasn't me." And
that could be as well. She might have perceived a shield.
Yeah.
As being black, right?
Right.
So sometimes a shield can appear as black nothingness. And so if you have really good natural shields, then you might just not have been letting her in. But again, for mediumship, she doesn't need to get in to you.
No.
I do psychic reads. And so, when I'm working with clients, I don't do them for, general stuff, but I do actually go into people's auras for that. But for a mediumship, you don't need to be in somebody's aura at all.
No. I'm sorry you went through that. That must have been difficult. Kelly, let's talk about your book, shall we? Yes. This is Kelly's website. If you guys want to connect to Kelly, her work, everything you need to know about Kelly, including her book, is on her website. Now, Kelly is not spelled with a Y. It's spelled with an E.
Yes.
Kelle Sparta. So, Kelly, tell us about your book and how people can get a copy.
Yeah, so the book is called The Overachiever's Guide to Nailing Your Spiritual Growth in Record Time Without Quitting Your Job, Turning Over Your Power, or Joining a Cult.
That's the tagline?
That's the tagline.
Oh my God. That's great.
Yeah, it's very friendly. It's got a little sign on the front that says, "Come on in, we have snacks." So it's your irreverent guide to finding your happiness. And it goes through the stages of healing and what those are. And it talks about the different wounds that I did like 3,000 energy scans over the last 10 years. And in the course of doing those energy scans, I was talking to all people who were on a spiritual path. I found 38 common blocks that everybody had some of. Nobody had all of them, but everybody had some of them. And those are the blocks and the wounds that I address in the book. And, we talk about what they are, where they come from, and how to clear them. And I also talk about the stages of growth that you go through in your spiritual growth process and how they work and what the key is for transcending from one stage to the next. I talk about spiritual traps and the process of change itself and the mindset pieces that you need in order to be able to get through the process effectively. So, you know how sometimes you pick up a book and if most books you get like 3 or 4 good ideas and a bunch of stories to sort of illustrate them. My book is more like, 4 or 5 ideas a page. So
Okay.
it's dense. Okay. It's more like a textbook or a reference book than a book. So just know that going in. It is hugely useful. I've had people already, it's only been on the market for like 2.5 weeks. And I've already had people going, oh my God, this has completely changed things for me.
Wow.
Amazing changes in my life and just reading the book. It's amazing. So it's packed full of useful stuff and it's $5 right now. So
$5 for all that information?
I'm doing a fast launch,
$5, guys.
$5.
You guys could do it for, don't be telling me that you can't be like, it's $25. I got to do this. That it's $5 to change your life. Like, that's insane. Like, really, that's kind of crazy. $5. It's probably worth a lot more than $5.
Well, and I've been talking to my Facebook guy about it because I'm like, it feels cheap and people may not be buying it because they feel like they don't trust it because it's only $5. And
hey, Tim's he's paying his $5. I mean, seriously, guys, it's like a cup of coffee these days.
Yeah, it's less than a cup of coffee. I paid $6 for my last cup of coffee.
Oh, Paul is saying her experience freaked her out. I come from a long line of gifted people with all kinds of gifts.
Yeah.
Paul is in. $5. Everybody's like, hey, $5, I'm in. So awesome. It's probably not going to be $5 for that much longer.
We are going to test some other price points. So, if you guaranteed you wanted it for $5, you should go get it, in the next couple of days.
Now, is this digital or do you have to send it?
It's digital. Yeah. Okay. No, it's digital. It also comes with several bonuses. The Boundaries for Empaths program, the download that's that tells you how to do that process and a lot more detail about it is one of the bonuses. You get a guided meditation about how to open your energy to the earth and sky and how to cycle your energy through so that you can clear your energy field whenever you want. And
seriously, all this for $5?
Oh, yeah. There's a sound healing in there as well.
There's got to be a too good to be true catch here. The catch is that it's going to be more. Yeah. That's the catch.
I was going to say if you check out my podcast, you'll find out I tend to fire hose people with information. I just have too much to say.
Well, people are going to be fire hosing you with $5 bills in about like 5 minutes.
Yeah,
because people would be. I don't know who's telling you to charge $5, but I think you should be charging at least $35 for all the stuff you're giving away.
Yeah.
But this could change your life. It will change your life. And for $5 for this information, man, you'd be, better go do it. Better go do it now. So you can grab Kelle's book on her website. That means you pay your $5, you get the book instantly right now. You don't have to wait for it to be shipped. You get it right now.
Yeah, you have to log in to get it because there's a platform that is delivering all the content. So you'll get a login and you'll log in, that's where all of the bonuses and the 2 different versions of the download. You'll get a PDF or a Kindle version. Yeah, you get both. You can choose which one you want to download.
Awesome. Well, Kelle Sparta, the Spirit Doctor or Transformational Shaman website, Kelle Sparta without a Y, but any kellesparta.com, and you could grab your book on her website. Thank you so much, Kelle, for coming tonight. We've reached the end of our lounge for this evening, and I thank everybody for coming here. Enjoy the rest of the full moon this weekend. And remember, forgive yourself. It's hard. I mean, all of us are self-critical, self-judgment, always beating ourselves up, what we're not doing.
Can I give one more thing?
Sure, absolutely.
I know you're wrapping up, but if you want to figure out how to forgive yourself easier, imagine that you are someone else, and that someone else who's been through the same things you've been through and done the same things you've done. Would you judge them in the same way that you are judging yourself? It's so much easier to forgive yourself when you look outside of yourself and imagine it's somebody else.
Yeah, because we would probably be a lot easier on that other person.
We always are. Yeah.
So think about really what is it that you have to forgive for yourself, like to you, and that inner child that needs to be like heard or understood or seen. Think about that. I know the lounge went so quickly tonight. It always does. Thank you, Kelle, for being here. And as always, make sure that you guys are getting on the Intuitive Development course waitlist. Link is in the video. It's coming out. And if you get Kelle's book and you get this Intuitive Development course, which is your intro, how it all works, and level 1, which is igniting your intuition and opening up your stuck energy lines, you are going to be on your way to transformation. So make sure you get on the wait list, because I'm not telling you what I'm going to be giving away, but I can tell you it's going to be sweet, and it's going to be for the first couple people that get the course. So you could just intuit what it's going to be, but you got to be on the wait list. So go on the wait list, put in your email, and we'll be emailing you soon. And it's in the link. It's in the bio. It's in the description of the video. Thanks, Kelle. Thanks for coming on. We really enjoyed having you. And you guys have a wonderful rest of your full moon infused weekend. And just remember, in the monthly energy forecast, I told you, do not get into arguments with any close relationship matters that are difficult right now. Not the weekend to do it. Just take care of yourself and just put everything on the back burner for next week. All right. If you don't listen to anything, listen to that. All right, Kelle, thank you so much. Let's wave goodbye to everybody for tonight. Thank you, guys. Have a great rest of your week.